Let's talk about what's happening here in Australia. Of course, the latest poll shows even more support for One Nation. Absolute disaster for the Libs, the coalition's primary vote plunging to 18%, almost minor party status, I should say. Sussan Ley is, of course, the most unpopular major party leader in 23 years. This is according to the poll in The Australian. And as I mentioned, One Nation voter support is up again to 27%. So, James, Angus Taylor could be Liberal leader by the end of the week. I'm pretty bored of this. I think a lot of Australians are.
Yeah, look, I mean, and Brendan Nelson right now probably has a real spring in his step when he goes out to walk the dog in the morning here, given these poll numbers about the least popular opposition leaders. Look, Sussan Ley, the Liberals have had 9 months to sort something out here. They have wasted every single day God has given them since the election. I went back yesterday and I looked at what I wrote late on election night and published late on election night. Basically said, they have to get their act together or it's terminal. It really does start to look like it's terminal right now for the Liberal Party if they can't, number one, change their leader. Now, here's the thing. Bring in Angus. Well, how many deals has he made with moderates? So what sort of policies are they going to get? The thing is, they don't have any policies. No. They don't have an energy policy. They don't have an immigration policy.
Wild.
This is why everybody is going to One Nation.
Absolutely.
Everybody's going to One Nation because they're like, these are the things we care about. And I cannot believe that the Liberals might actually do the same insane thing they do every 3 years. Which is, hey, let's wait till 6 weeks before the election and then throw a bunch of crap at the wall and see what sticks. No, it's not going to work.
No, I think so much damage has really been done. It's disastrous, and it's really so easy to get a sense of what Australians are wanting right now. And absolute immigration is really such a key issue.
Well, here's the thing. You know, look at the rise of Pauline Hanson in the late 1990s. And what did John Howard do? He heard all of the concerns about immigration. He took them on board. He absorbed those into the Liberal Party platform and the coalition. He went in to have, you know, the second longest serving Prime Minister in Australian history. It was a great success. Now the Liberals say, oh, we don't want to be any way associated with Pauline Hanson. Oh, it's too Trumpy if we start talking about immigration cuts. Of course, it all means that what's happening really is that they're all in the pockets of Universities Australia and property developers and everybody else who wants, you know, lots more migrants and cheap labor. It's a road to failure.
Let's talk about Japan.
Sure.
Obviously, Sanae Takaichi has won at the snap election in what's being dubbed as a landslide victory, and she won on running on policies such as
immigration. And who knew that immigration was an issue in Japan? But apparently it is, because they've got their population problems that we all do, and they had started to bring in migrants from India and from the developing world, and it has really not gone well at all. And Japan, unlike Australia, which says, oh, no, we must, you know, be all multiculturally welcoming, says, no, we're Japanese. And they voted Takaichi back in. She's now got more than 2/3 of the vote. They can actually change the Constitution, so they can actually take a much more aggressive forward posture on defense. You know, when General MacArthur and everybody wrote the Constitution for Japan and said, you know, you can only have like a little peacekeeping force and that's it, they never thought that this would happen. And now today, 80 years later, we're thinking, actually, yeah, please go change the Constitution because we need your help up there in the North Pacific. And it's fantastic. But here's the thing. It's like, are there any lessons for the coalition here? This politician just won a huge, resounding mandate on the basis of cutting immigration and getting tough on defense. But, you know, Gabriella, I just don't think there are any lessons our center-right party can take it. This, you know, so you know, forget about that. What does that matter to Australia? You know?
No lessons at all, James. No, too funny. Look, finally, before I let you go, of course, Israel's President Isaac Herzog is here in Australia. Yesterday, we saw him meet with families of some of the victims of the Bondi terror attack. He laid a wreath and 2 stones from Jerusalem to honour the 15 victims. Of course, though, we saw these pro-Palestine activists pushing ahead with this rally. Very shameful.
Shameful. They were given, just so everybody watching who maybe wasn't here in Sydney, you know, knows what happens. These protesters were given a space in Hyde Park. They were told, you can go have your protest here. They said, no, we want to have it on the steps of Town Hall. They went to the Supreme Court. They lost. They still held their protest. All they wanted to do was provoke confrontation with the police. they got what they wanted for, unfortunately, and because the police are in this invidious position. You know, if they don't go hard enough, you wind up with an October 9th type of situation, like the Opera House. At the same time, there was also a huge memorial event going on down at the convention center with President Herzog. If those groups had met, you would have had a disaster.
Yeah.
You go too hard and, oh, police brutality, this was a horrible police violence, pepper spray, punches, all of this sort of stuff. But all of the footage I have seen, or much of the footage I have seen, really suggests that these protesters were looking for trouble, and trouble is what they got.
Of course, absolutely. I mean, the fact that these people were taking to the streets when the president of Israel is here to mourn the victims of this terror attack.
And here's the thing, you know, so much of what they were talking about is this whole idea of globalizing the intifada.
No.
The key thing here about what that means, that doesn't just mean you're against Israel and you're bringing the fight against Israel to other places. They consider every so-called settler colonial state to be illegitimate. That includes Australia, okay? So what this is, when they say globalize the intifada, this is not just about an attack on the state of Israel or Jewish Australians or Jews around the world. This is also an assault against the West. Everybody needs to understand that this is why this matters so much, and it's so existential, and it is driven largely, I have to say, by children of the elite who have come out of universities with their heads pumped so full of garbage and so full of hate, and the best thing that they can do now is scurry out of their Newtown share houses to brawl with the cops.
Yeah.
It's a disgrace.
James, it absolutely is. Well said. Thank you so much for joining us.
Anytime.
I really appreciate it.